Guys, we are faced with the biggest debacle yet. Do we want to keep good Eleanor or bad Eleanor? We talk about it coming up here on The Good Place.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You requested this song, Jeff. Break it down.
Because we found out that Eleanor was an extremely independent, maybe for worse rather than for better.
She's interesting. She's almost reverting back.
Yeah, well, I feel like we saw growth, but you said in one of our early episodes that she's a very independent person, and it was kind of a positive thing. I feel like we saw a lot of defensive independence this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's good. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. This is talking about episode 9 of The Good Place. It's good to be back.
We missed you, Michael.
It's good to be back. I was gone last week. I was in Buchs, Switzerland.
He smells like fondue. You guys can't see it.
It was great. Switzerland is just like the postcards. It was very nice to be away. But we're back, and you can follow me and all my journeys if I ever leave again on Instagram at TheOnlyMC and on Twitter at Michael Clouse TV. Jeffrey Graham.
Michael, you have 20 seconds to tell us your favorite thing about Switzerland.
I would say it was a mix of Wisconsin and Colorado. Wisconsin, small town. I was in a village of 12,000 people. Colorado, up in the Alps. There was one point when we did some filming literally up in the Alps, and I had to just take a step back and be like, I'm here in the Alps.
The Good Place.
On a job. And last Friday was my 1 year in LA, and that was the day that I was on the Alps, and it was just very surreal. Go check it out. It's on my Instagram at TheOnlyMC.
The only confusing thing is it wasn't your 1 year in LA if you were on the Alps, but...
Well, I mean, it's still your birthday if you're not in the hospital.
Fair enough. Okay. Guys, I'm Jeff Graham. Thanks so much for tuning in. We have no Allie today. We missed you, but we'll see you. Well, not next week because the network dropped a bomb. We'll get back into that one for a minute. But you guys can find me on Twitter on Jeffrey C. Graham. I'm not hosting anything right now because all my shows just ended this week, but nice to know all of you. Let's move on. Marissa, take it away.
Marissa.
I'm Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel, and on Snapchat at the Renee Ariel.
Well, we certainly earlier in the season were wondering where could they possibly go. We're like, are they running out of ideas almost? Is it going to get bland of now that we know things, what's going to happen? Certainly these last 2 episodes, because I missed last week and I just watched the other one earlier today, and then this one, there's a lot of possibilities of where they can go.
Holy smokes. A lot happened.
Yeah.
First of all, can I say this was a great episode? I don't know what you guys thought. I keep thinking that my favorite episodes are happening, but the show is upping its game.
It is.
Every
It's
episode.
staying at that level.
Yeah. Do you guys agree?
There's just more new, fresh jokes that are still funny and we haven't heard yet.
I know.
And the references to other, shows, we'll get to it, but the references to other things is just so pop culture, which we understand, which makes it all the more funny.
Yeah, I think this was my favorite episode so far because I loved new Eleanor's background story. I thought that was hysterical, and I was dying. It was just so funny. There's so many more elements of the show now, and you're like, what's going to happen? I really like it.
And just when you think that it's like, oh, where could they, they might be running out of this person, they just create a bad person that's equal of that. We're seeing Eleanor, we're seeing Janet. And it's like the bad Janet.
That was hysterical.
Because why not?
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite part of the episode. And that was only for maybe 10 seconds.
That's funny. He comes in texting.
Yeah.
Blowing the bubble.
It's just hysterical.
Very interesting. Well, I think the biggest thing, and I think we learned here, we learned a lot about the bad place.
Yes, we did.
And what goes on there, we learn it from Eleanor about she had to organize an endless baby shower for someone that she didn't know. She got shocked if she didn't remember a name. They were jazz songs, food that tastes like trash bags in her mouth, flying piranhas. Is this what you guys thought the
College
bad place?
improv.
College improv.
Yeah, I love that one.
Is this what you guys thought it would be like? Personally, I thought it would maybe be, I don't know, not as uncomfortable, more painful.
Yeah.
See, I think it's more catered to whatever your punishment is catered to what you hated in real life when you were alive. So I think that was maybe Eleanor when she was alive. Those are the things she would have hated the most. So I think it's different per everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Just because of the way the good place works, I was thinking it'd just be the opposite for the bad place.
Well, yeah, what I like about the show is it's a comedy show's approach to heaven and hell, right? So if we were watching, like, Penny Dreadful, we might see, like, really classic mythological imagery of, like, oh, like, it's, you know, fire and brimstone, or, like, sin and separation. But instead, this is, like, having to coordinate an event for no one you know is going to be there, or, like, frozen yogurt. And, like, it's such a fun, like, family-friendly way, and kind of, the show isn't trying to be religious, which I appreciate.
Yes, yeah.
I think that would have been a mistake. And it's just a fun kind of human way to approach good and bad. And it's so consistently funny. I haven't gotten tired of the joke yet. And like you said, Marissa, it keeps upping its freshness with new material. The show's killing.
And I think, too, of it continually challenges you to maybe change your perception of what you want. In that, even this episode, when we are introduced with bad Eleanor, and you think all along, well, we want good Eleanor to stay. She's great. And then they introduce this one, and she knows Seinfeld lingo.
I know.
Obviously, I want her to stay. Come on.
Yeah.
So you're constantly challenged of, oh, but now I want this. But now I want this. Can I have both?
Yeah.
Were they real?
Help me out,
Are they
James.
spectacular?
Were they? Ah, yes. Seinfeld.
That's a Seinfeld quote.
Yes.
It's been
They're
a
real
while.
and they're spectacular. Oh, really good. And it's so, you know, they obviously feel the same way and they want both of them to stay too.
Yeah, and you know, and it just shows like how much the good Eleanor are good Eleanor. Like how far she's come along, the fact that we want her to stay. Maybe in the first 2 episodes, like, yeah, you kind of deserve to be in a bad place, but the fact that like herself even had that character growth, like, I want to be a good person, just shows like how much we actually do like her.
I know, and especially this episode with the flashbacks, we're seeing her push everyone away that she could potentially get close to, and then this episode, she's letting them in. She wants to be close to people. It's
Yeah,
great.
totally not a team player on Earth, but now she's slowly warming up to being a team player. And speaking of that, the ultimate team is obviously her and Chidi. Thoughts on the relationship between Chidi and our good Eleanor, and
Should we say old and new? We
I was
discussed.
gonna say we'll say old and new, because real and fake, that once again we're putting one
I'll
on
still
like a
get
tier
confused.
down.
Old and new is an objective way for us to distinguish, because Eleanor Shellstrop, well, yes. Kristen
Our
Bell's been there for a
Eleanor.
minute, yeah.
Yeah, so Chidi's relationship with old Eleanor and with new Eleanor.
Game changer, man. Again, like
Love
more
triangle.
a little love triangle. I thought it was gonna be Tahani, Eleanor, and Chidi. I did.
Oh, yeah, for that, like,
Yeah.
There
hot
were
second
some
they were flirting.
moments, but no, it's this new, because they're fated to be together, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, new Eleanor and Chidi were designed to be soulmates.
Yep.
So it's like there's this other question of like fate versus new love.
And they got along really well.
I know,
Oh,
of course they
yeah.
did. They're probably
Like they-
actual soulmates.
Well, yeah, they seem like perfect together, and they have so much in common. Oh man.
Well, it's also, I mean, there's a difference with like what's written and what's actually, you know, executed out in real life.
Yeah.
So like what looks good on paper might not be the best what actually
Well,
happens.
are you saying that arranged
True.
marriages are not the best option?
Sometimes no. So I mean, you know
Right.
what I'm saying, but it's like what you think is expected because someone just told you doesn't mean that's exactly how it's going to end up. And like I like the old Eleanor because I never really saw the chemistry. I see it as friendships, but I don't really see it as romance. The new Eleanor, yeah, definitely.
So you're shipping new
So
Eleanor
do
and
you-
Chidi.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
think
a little
that,
bit. Yeah.
Oh
I am.
man, I'm so not there. I'm so not there.
I am for it.
I don't know, because I saw the friendship as well, but then as the series went on, like I did like the idea of them together, and now this
The
new
idea
Eleanor
of
Chidi and old Eleanor.
old Eleanor, the Chris and Bella. Okay.
Yeah, but now new Eleanor, I don't know, it just seems too easy breezy.
Let me bring up another relationship, if I may. Picture this. A group of friends in New York. One's a paleontologist who works with dinosaurs. One is kind of a self-centered shopping type who works at Ralph Lauren.
Who was cut off from her father.
Who was cut off from her family and thus rebelled and pushed towards independence and is a little stubborn, maybe. Is
yeah.
anyone seeing what I'm
Sounds familiar.
saying right now?
Sounds familiar.
There's a bit of a Ross Rachel element with Chidi and that's exactly it.
That's what you're talking
There's a
about.
bit of a Ross Rachel element with Chidi and Eleanor, and it's the same thing where I think we're gonna see this. Will they? Won't they?
I don't know, because okay, from the beginning, Ross was like obsessed with Rachel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it was like Ross always had a thing.
Yeah,
for Rachel.
like Eleanor just used Chidi in the beginning to give her lessons, so it wasn't like, oh, I love you on either side. Whereas Ross was like obsessed with Rachel.
Yeah, but
the whole show.
But see, we kind of got to see Ross. We're not really seeing what Chidi's doing behind the scenes. Maybe Chidi is obsessed with Eleanor, and we just don't know it. Am I being weird?
But it's not like we've seen Chidi
He's a guy who wants the
try
bad
to get
girl.
to it.
I have like Chidi old Eleanor fan fiction somewhere. I'm like, guys, I really want them to get... No.
I mean,
Wait, is
opposites
that you who
attract.
started that Instagram page?
No, what? What are you talking about?
Them
No.
together in pictures and...
What? 1,600 followers. No, what are you talking about? No, I didn't do that. What are you talking about? I don't know.
Go follow me.
What?
Oh man, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't know. The new Eleanor, she's a good person.
I like her.
You can't not like her, right?
she's
I
sweet.
like her.
Yeah, she is very sweet.
I mean, and what she overcame in her childhood of
I like her.
she was left in a fishbowl.
Do you know who
and
she
then
is, though?
her what?
She's Charlie in season 8 of Friends. Sorry, I'll stop talking about Friends. But you like her.
Charlie.
Yeah.
I know. I'm saying
The
guys.
scientist, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she was like perfect.
Yes.
But she wasn't perfect for Ross.
Yeah, and Ross didn't.
I know I bring up
Ross
Friends a
got
lot on the
In
show,
which
but
case is she going to go for Jianyu, who is like Joey?
maybe. I thought that when I was seeing it.
Whoa.
Because she's never. The thing is, opposites attract. You know.
That's what I was saying. I think like opposites, but then again, like what works better? Someone you're like very, very compatible with, or someone who's just complete opposite of you that you'll disagree on everything.
See, my thing is, just as like a avid television watcher, I thought it would just be too simple to put the old Eleanor with Chidi, like pair those up in the first season. So I didn't really think that was actually gonna happen. So I can believe that as a friendship, but not as a relationship.
Okay.
I see that. I see what you're talking about because
Just
it's like
storytelling.
No, I hear
the
you.
satisfaction when you wait longer. It's like
Yeah,
the marshmallow
exactly.
experiment.
It's a good. Obviously, it was a good move on the writers because we are talking about it. It was a.
Do you know the marshmallows?
Wait, I was
one
not
where
listening, Renee. I'm sorry. You have to go.
Okay,
We're gonna go
so
back.
they were giving. They told a bunch of kids. They gave them each a
Oh, I do know
marshmallow.
this, yeah.
Yeah, do you still not know this?
Keep going.
They gave each of the kids a marshmallow, and they said, if you don't eat that marshmallow for 15 minutes, I'll give you another marshmallow. If you eat it right away, you'll just get that marshmallow. So, like, pretty much it's just saying, like, the moral of the story, if you wait longer, you get more satisfaction.
I mean,
Which
look
is
what
like the
happened to the
relationship.
Cubs.
Yeah.
It works.
I don't want to talk about it.
You're upset.
I'm from
Good,
Cleveland, you
good
guys.
time. Has anyone else heard of that marshmallow thing? Hit us up on the live chat because I'm really
We do have.
interested.
I see a
I'm
little
with
boost
you,
16.
Michael. I've never heard of that.
See, you know,
Oh shoot, we just lost the
what
internet.
would you do? Would you eat the marshmallow?
I don't like marshmallows.
I would wait.
What would Renee's? Would you watch The
See,
Bachelor now, or
there
would
comes
you
a point
wait?
where you can't wait any longer, though.
have
Where
to
it's like,
wait.
what's the
Wait
point?
till it becomes taffy? Like, is that the goal? Like, what? I don't know.
What?
Like,
Is there an open flame where we can make s'mores?
Oh, see, that's a different scenario.
Now
If
we're
you told
just-
me
I
to
like
wait
ice
for the
cream.
marshmallow to get the graham cracker
Speaking of
and
things,
chocolate.
speaking of things we
Hot
need in the
chocolate,
good
it's the
place.
fall.
Okay, we're getting real off topic here. Another thing I want to discuss is Michael's growth throughout this episode. He grew some cojones.
Yeah, he did.
This is a new Michael, and actually, I was a little worried. I was like, are we gonna get bored of Michael? I love Ted Danson. Cheers is one of my favorites. But I was like, we haven't seen a lot of dynamic elements. But then again, last episode, Michael was kind of harsh. Yeah, so this is a good Michael episode. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts on Michael.
Yeah, I really like this episode with Michael. I thought it was so funny that he just kept on giving in to their peer pressure, and I loved it. He was like, go get me a drink. He's like, okay, and then just like left. I thought it was hysterical. And then the end, when he really needed to step up his game, he did. I thought it was a great moment for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like Eleanor's rubbing off on him in good ways. Like in a good way, ironically so. But the fact that like he was so meek and he just loved humans so much, and then to be around bad humans, like the fact that forced him to be like, hey, this is my place. You're messing with it. You know, that says a lot about him, and the fact like it wasn't just himself growing a pair of cojones, but like his growing affection for old Eleanor. There's a lot of different types of
I
growth with
think they're doing a good job of setting it up for future episodes when Michael will need to stand up to Sean, who is God. Is that what we got?
No, I don't think so,
this?
because there was one joke that I want to mention now. Someone said, I promise you, I swear to Bieber.
Oh,
So
Yes.
the idea is
Yes.
that like the deity of hell is Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's such a
Hilarious.
subtle, such a good script this episode. Character development, lots of like plot movement, but also so many jokes.
So many
Yeah.
jokes. It was a really good
Good job,
episode.
writers.
So,
Yeah.
but because I think he'll have to stand up to someone.
I think he's an
and
architect.
so
I think
He's
he's
the wise
a similar.
eternal judge.
good.
Apparently, that's his title. Wise eternal judge.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess he is kind of like the Satan figure.
Who are we talking about?
Ian
Like,
or Sean.
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 It's also a douchey name.
Yeah.
Ian's
That would work. That would work.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm very much looking forward to seeing where that goes. Here's a question. Was Trevor's goal specifically to get Eleanor to the bad place?
Yeah.
Or
right?
was he just like, because he was like pushing it sometimes, but then wasn't, and I didn't know if his job was just to bring her back or to make her seem like she wanted to be in the bad place?
I think he just needed to bring someone back with him.
Yeah.
Whether it be old Eleanor or new Eleanor. And then I
just
think
had a
he
job
liked
to do.
old Eleanor more because he's like, yeah, you losers. And then she, had drinks with him, wanted to sleep with her, wanted to bring him back, her back, to the
Right.
bad place.
No, I got you.
They didn't bring up too it that they didn't know about good Eleanor, old Eleanor, same person, in the bad place. That they didn't know until Michael called.
They didn't bring it up.
They didn't bring it up, and so it makes you wonder too. And this kind of gets into talking about future. That do they know about Jianyu? Good Jianyu? Do they not know down there? And there's certainly a world we're not seeing.
What was the phone call exactly?
They called last week.
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
was the one
What'd
who
he say?
outed.
At the very end, he outed
Yeah.
him, and he just said, "We have to meet" or something like that.
We
to talk."
have. I don't remember. Why are you bringing that up?
No, because you're implying that they might know about Jianyu and the mix-up with him, yeah? Or no? Did I miss that? Because
Yeah.
I forget what the phone call was. I don't remember. I remember it being short, but they did not discuss the fact that it was Eleanor Shellstrop and there's been a mistake.
I
They
think
just said-
Tell us in the comments.
Yes, please leave a comment below.
Well, yeah, so I'm saying like they didn't know in the bad place. Obviously, we're not seeing that realm, but they didn't know that there's a problem.
I think what you're getting at, to me, seems like the central theme of the show, right? Which is like, everything's a lot more complicated than the initial paradigm. So like at the beginning, everything was fine, but then this very likable person who had some serious flaws shook everything up. And we don't know where she belongs. It's the thing of like, maybe no one belongs where they are. Like, are we sure that new Eleanor is even that good? Because think about this. She was in the bad place for the same amount of time that Eleanor was in the good place, and it took them that long. They had to be the one to tell her.
That's a good theory. If she turned bad in the bad place,
Right, like
that would be interesting.
if she was that good, wouldn't she be repairing sinkholes in the bad place? Like, to me, it's just the central undergirding of like what the show's about, which is like, Jianyu and Tahani like might actually be worse than old Eleanor. I think everything's gonna fall apart. Things fall apart.
It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thoughts?
that's a good theory because, yeah, with the same amount of time, but like if there's the bad, quote unquote, Jianyu back down there, maybe he'll be the one who gets swapped for the Jianyu that's in the good place
That's
right
what
now.
you said
That's like an
during-
early prediction.
That's what I was thinking because they set it up that way where he was like, oh, Janet, you're the only one who's nice to me. So I thought, they're setting it up so that it actually wouldn't be a sad exit for him if he was sent down to the bad place. But then Michael ended up just saying, we're not sending anyone.
I mean, he lived in Florida anyway, so it's like basically he grew up in the bad place anyway.
Like he knows what it's like.
It's rough.
Yeah, that gets us into predictions.
And now,
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions. Oh, there was predictions. Good. Thoughts on what we'll see next episode? They leave it with that tease of Tahani finding out about Jianyu's sacred place. How do you think that's gonna go?
Yeah. I still think, I'm sticking to my prediction last time, that I still think someone is going to go to the bad place, and I don't think it's going to be our Eleanor. I think now it might be Jianyu.
I think that Jianyu is going to be sent down to the bad place.
I had a crazy thought. What if like Michael, as like a Christ figure, like goes down to the bad place,
Ooh.
like to sacrifice himself for the good of his neighborhood?
I'd rather have Gianni.
If that's the case, eventually he's
Shut
gonna
down.
come back to the good place.
Right.
So like it'll be like a good effort, and then like 3 days later he'll come back to the good place.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
Easter.
either way, I think we're gonna see some bad place.
I do too, and I'm
wanna
ready.
see some
I
bad
hope we
plays.
do.
Yeah.
Such a right premise
whoa.
for comedy.
Whoa, okay. Someone was really excited about that. I want to see some bad place. Yeah.
You watched The Bachelor already, Renee.
Yeah. You don't need.
We're never gonna let you live that one down.
It's okay. I am a proud part of Bachelor Nation,
I
okay?
loved how there was a quick shot of the people in the back from the bad place, and they were taking selfies of each other.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about just that little click.
Yeah.
And they were like snorting.
Is it okay if we
time.
really quick
Let's
just
do it.
That was so funny.
That was
Hysterical.
really funny. I
Yeah.
loved all of them.
They're
Just the way they
snorting
talk.
time.
Snorting time.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I was thinking of like, how are they getting away with this joke? And then they like played it up this time. I'm like, okay, I see what you did there.
And that the bad place version of karaoke is reading the Nixon tape. There's a such thing as a bad American, but there's a much worse thing as a bad Jew. It's like, such a good script this episode.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I was quoting Nixon, you guys.
Obviously. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and we will just have to wait and see. Wait a long time.
Yeah, come on.
We got some.
My
it's not
literal
really, like,
job.
bad news because it is what it is.
Just
Yeah.
thought we were coming back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, in
2 months,
January
my friend.
2020, you can catch the next. Like, what? Yeah, bummer. We have to wait.
Yeah, they're on hiatus until 2017.
Yeah.
But it did end on a very good cliffhanger.
Dang.
Yeah.
Great cliffhanger.
Any other predictions?
That the love triangle will continue with Chidi and Eleanor.
Do you guys think there could be some love between Jianyu and Janet?
No. No!
I saw it. I saw
He
it.
was no. I say this. I
about?
say this. Hold on.
Or
hold
maybe
on.
Gianna and bad Janet.
Hold on a second.
It's like Sandy from Grease.
Because he's like, you're the only one who cares about me, and he certainly seemed to be a little emotional. And I was looking for it.
I'm with you, Mike.
When she walked away, he looked. He did a double.
Oh, the
He
double
has
take.
a crush on Janet, who's not a real person. and that's Giannu's a
So
little
that's why I'm
slow.
Let a
saying,
man dream,
obviously-
Renee. Go
Yeah.
on.
Obviously,
Little
the
he
fact
is.
that Janet is not fully there
No, you
means
know
that
what?
she could fall for a Jianyu.
Well, that's
No.
yeah. It's
They're the
really
same
sad if you
intellect,
think
right?
about it because their intellect
Yes.
level is literally the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, as soon as she gets all of her information back, no.
I'm writing this down as my
Oh my
prediction.
gosh.
And like, it could be
I
that
don't
like,
see it. I don't
I
want
do. I think whether or not they will happen, I do think Jianyu, there will be a funny dynamic
Yes.
Yeah.
where Jianyu's chasing.
I so agree with that.
Okay, okay.
I don't
That's,
agree.
that's
with
what I
you
was
on that.
going after. I wasn't going after like they're actually going to fall in love.
I think they're gonna get
Well, you
married
gotta
next
preface
episode.
it like that way.
I think there will be some kind of connection.
Maybe it will be a thing though. It's almost like the classic, like they can't. It's like the Capulet.
No!
But like
Forbidden love.
the forbidden love, like she's not even a person.
Oh,
Right.
I don't like that
Taboo.
relationship.
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and
We'll
see,
have to
though.
see.
That is the midway point. No, we're not the midway point. We got 4 episodes up, I think, because there's a 13 episode.
Maybe they
there.
changed it all up though, because I think this show's been kind of a hit, which is great.
Yeah, obviously it's been a hit.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Maybe they ordered more, and like maybe the network actually, because I thought this was gonna wrap in 2016, and then there was gonna be a new mid-season replacement, but maybe they're just gonna roll this till May.
Would not be
Maybe.
disappointing.
Ooh.
Like maybe they ordered more. Is what
I
I'm
am
saying.
disappointed we have to wait till January, though, I will say.
If anyone knows in the chat what the heck is going on with the show schedule, that's my job at the
you
studio.
know, Jeff, if you know the schedule of shows
He's
this
acting
week.
by scheduling
That's
coordinator.
my job, and I had no idea. So thank you.
Oh,
anyway.
man. Well, we will be back in 2017, and we'll hopefully have some guests. I know I've been talking with some people and their publicists, and they wanted to wait till their certain characters appeared, and now they have appeared. And so we'll hopefully get those guests in 2017. Until then, the next couple months, if they want to follow what you're doing for Thanksgiving or Christmas or just what you do on a normal basis, where can they find you?
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel and on Snapchat at the Renee Ariel.
And I'm Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at SeraphiniTV.
Guys, I'm Jeffrey Graham. Find me on Twitter at Jeffrey C. Graham. Thanks for tuning in, those of you who have. We hope you come back in a million years when the show comes back. We hope you do as well, and we'll be here.
That's right. You can find me on Instagram at TheOnlyMC, on Twitter at Michael Clouse TV. Go check out my Switzerland pictures. I think I'm going somewhere next week for the same company, so we'll have to find out where that is. Thank you very much for joining us. Like us on iTunes, follow us, give us a shout out, tell your friends. We'll be back in 2017.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.